Not that I'd ever admit to us becoming a one-man team or anything, but 4 minutes of football after the last episode in this series, Ashley Chambers went off injured. We've played 5 games since then. We've only won one of them. Today he makes his return, and hopefully we can still make it into the playoffs. Hello and welcome to part 7 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we have our last 2 matches of the regular season. We're away against Darlington, at home against Blyth. We're 2 points clear of Alfreton of all teams. And then Boston. I mean, it's like a who's who of other... I've managed York before as well. Goodness me, all the teams that could ruin our season are teams that I've previously managed on this channel. That's dirty. But yeah, we find ourselves in 6th place. It's not been good since Chambers got injured. He went off after 4 minutes in this home game against York. I can't even remember what there you go, some kind of knee injury. But then he didn't play against Alfreton, 0-0 draw. Didn't play against Boston, 2-2. I mean, these are all the teams we've just talked about as well. It's all the teams around us. So it might not just be the fact that Chambers has been injured. It's the fact we've been playing against good teams. We did manage to beat Southport, thanks to a couple of goals from Jonathan Nixon. We then got soundly beaten by Salford. Our first defeat since January, but Salford are already promoted as champions, I think. Pretty much already promoted as champions. So we're not going to read too much into that one. But the man himself, Ashley Chambers, is back today. And goodness me, do we need a performance from him. He's not properly fit. He's not even back in full training. Sprained knee ligaments. He's still out for another 6 to 12 days. But we've got playoffs to get into. We need him in. We need him performing. Rocker also missed a few of those games with an injury as well, but he's been back since the Salford game. So this is our team for the game against Darlington. We've got Linus in goal, a back four of, I think I've decided on Diane, Jones and Ashton, with Waters and Elliott as our wing-backs, El Bekri and Mellor in midfield, with Nicholson in behind Rocker and Chambers. This combination of players as a front three hasn't lost a game in almost half a season, and we kind of need that to continue today. We've got to get back to winning ways. We scored all those goals in the last episode, and it all immediately dried up. I couldn't believe it when he went off injured, and we just didn't really seem to have a plan B. Nixon has had a decent first season for us. He's only 19. I think he's got 12 goals for us now, most of them coming from substitute appearances. So in any other season, that would be a decent return, but throwing him into a promotion push for like 5 games on the bounce, and even then he got 2 goals in 5 games, which is fine for a 19-year-old. But it just wasn't enough. He's not scoring at the rate that Chambers was, and we were relying so much on his goals. And now we're 1-0 down against Darlington. We're at Darlington in the league. They're down in 15th place. And I hope that this is just a little blip and we'll be fine. Because all the talk in the last episode was, wouldn't it be great to finish 2nd or 3rd, miss out on that first round of the playoffs? Wouldn't it be great to go into the playoffs in form with all the momentum in the world, go in there as the team that just can't lose? Even if we scrape in through the back door, at this rate, we won't have won a game in like 6 or 7 matches. That isn't winning playoff form, and we're 2-0 down after 6 minutes. And I can feel the wheels falling off of our season. What we have to remember, in the interests of positivity, because back in the Borough, this is our save where we're positive. What we have to remember is the board are looking for a mid-table finish. The pre-season prediction was mid-table. The fact that we've got this far into the season still with a chance at getting into the playoffs is awesome. So we have overperformed. We've had a good season. Even if we end up finishing in 8th place, we've had a good season. But to be so close and then miss out potentially on the last day of the season on a playoff spot will be just horrible. So we need to find a way to get back into this. Mellor with the corner, and it's just headed clear. Why is Chambers around hovering on the edge of the area? Oh, Beckry's in a lot of space though, and really should have scored there. That's a big miss from El Bekri, and I mean, I guess the fact we're already 2-0 down means it's not that significant, but it would have been nice to mount a bit of a comeback before half-time. They're going to make it 3 now, and it comes back off the crossbar, and Jones clears. That might be our turning point. They've had a bit of bad luck. Now let's go up there and grab a goal back before half-time. That's what we need, and we have got the ball. So it's El Bekri out to Elliott, and now Nicholson plays it over the top, but Chambers, almost as if he's not fully fit, isn't able to chase onto it the way he has done for so much of this second half of the season when he's been in all the goals. But yeah, he's not at full pace, not at full fitness by a long stretch. Pretty hard to be the pacey front-running striker when you've only got one knee. But Rocker plays it to Nicholson, or tries to play it to Nicholson, and he doesn't get there. And now Darlington are on the break again. We need to get a tackle in, and it was John Ashton who was sort of keeping up with him, but just wasn't able to get the tackle in, and Ashley Chambers has gone off. The gamble has not paid off. He will have re-injured his knee, and what could have been a comeback in the last game of the season to still get us into the playoffs and then be fit for the playoffs, I imagine, even if we get into the playoffs now, which we're not in a playoff position right now, we're down into 8th place. If we do manage to get there, Chambers is now going to be injured for them. So we rolled the dice a little bit. It was a silly thing to do. And now we've broken our star man. Rocker trying to get in over the top, but Nicholson's not quite been as pinpoint accurate with his balls over the top today. Normally, they land exactly where they need to land to create a chance. He's a little bit not quite with it today. I wonder if the whole team are nosebleed territory, getting a little bit nervous about what could be when they're massively, massively overachieving him. We shouldn't be letting them have shots like that. I don't want to start fiddling tactically. We know this tactic works most of the time, but it is one of those. We're in one of those situations now where we haven't won a game for 6 games. John Ashton's got one back. How much longer do we keep persisting with a tactic that's no longer working, no matter how well we've seen it work in the past? And it is difficult. That he's kicked that hard into that player who stood on the line. Right, 25 minutes. We're only a goal behind. We can salvage something here with the right substitution. Right, let's get Unti on, because he's scored a couple of goals recently, so we'll get him on. And then Matty Waters is not having a good game, so we'll bring Diona on for him. And hopefully, between the two of them and Jonathan Nixon and Jordan Nicholson, we just need to grab it. An equaliser will be enough, I think, to get us back into a playoff spot going into that last game of the season. We can't miss out to Alfreton. I mean, that's just too scripted and horrible if they're the team that deny us a place in the playoffs after I managed to do so very poorly with them on the non-need to legend save. Oh, right. We've got to get the ball back, and we've got a minute left. Get the ball up the other end of the pitch. The ball is at the wrong end of the pitch. Right, you've got about 30 seconds to get up there and grab the equaliser, which moves us back into a playoff spot. We do not want to be going into this last day of the season not in the playoffs. And Unti was nearly in, but not quite there. And I think that's that. We're going into the final day of the season in 8th place, outside of the playoffs, for the first time in a couple of months in game. And that's not a nice situation to be in. The only positive I can possibly try and draw from that is that we now get to be the team that sneaks in on the last day and no one expects to do well. But it's not really much of a consolation. Let's see what's up with Ashley Chambers. Doesn't actually say. So perhaps he's not re-injured himself. Perhaps he's just still injured. Where is he? Why are we just looking at all these kids? Chambers should still be fit for the next game. In an effort not to make the same mistake again, I'm playing Nixon from the start for this last game of the season. Chambers is on the bench. He's only on 71% condition, back to full training in 2 days. So if we do manage to pull off qualification for the playoffs, we should have Chambers fit and ready for that game. Worryingly, Blyth are lining up with a 3-5-2 to match ours. They're battling from relegation, I think. Yes, all those lot are great. Josh McDonald, don't even remember who he is. So Blyth need a win to guarantee staying in the division. We need a win to give us a chance at the playoffs. So it's going to come down to who wants it more. I think I want it more. But let's see if anyone from Blyth maybe disagrees. I mean, it's a game we should be able to win. That's the frustrating thing. If we manage to let it all crumble right at the death here, the lesson we can learn from it is try as much as possible to avoid being a one-man team. They're going to score straight away. Oh my goodness, 4 minutes on the clock and we're already 1-0 down. And what is that celebration? Oh, that was like the intro to the Creators Cup. We just had a sea of Dele Alli waves. Oh, no. Well, Now we really do have it all to do. Is it going to be the Ashley Chambers story? He's going to come off the bench in the second half, grab a hat-trick and fire us into the playoffs. Oh, I can't believe that after doing so well, we had such a poor start to the season, then we did so well for so long, but we're very, very reliant on one man. And of course, that's the man who picks up the injury. Right, Jones wins the ball back. Forward to Nicholson, who can't win it in the air. Mellor nods it back to Nicholson, who finds Rocker. Waters crosses, and it doesn't even beat their defender. I mean, we've got to be better than that. I don't want to say... I'm going to say the players are bottling it. It's not me. The players haven't got the stomach for the fight. Nixon does well, finds Rocker. Maybe should have gone it alone or played Rocker a little bit sooner. He seemed to take the worst of both options there. Ran with it and did quite well to create a bit of space for himself, but then just didn't use the space. And we're 2-0 down after 20 minutes. And I think that's probably that. Because... we're just not going to come back from that, are we? We've had 25% of the possession in the first 20 minutes of this game. Talk about who wants it more. They've just... I mean, this is a team who can still get relegated this season on the last day. That's how poor the opposition is. And they have just come out here, whipped up into a frenzy. And they're just not... they're not even letting us have the ball. We're not even getting the opportunity to put up a fight because they won't let us have a kick. Jordan Nicholson needs to get this game by the scruff of the neck, take control and just create some chances for us. But I worry that he's not even seeing the ball. The ball's not even making it into the Blyth half and they're just coming at us again. I would not be at all surprised if they grab a third here because we just haven't been at the races. I don't understand how things can change so much from one episode to the next. We beat our local rivals 6-2 on the last episode. We haven't won a game since then. And here we are, last day of the season, still with an opportunity to get into the playoffs, and a relegation-threatened team has got us 3-0 down at home. And the only difference is one player is missing. And Jonathan Nixon isn't a bad striker. He's got, as I say, he's into double figures for goals this season. It's not like we put an absolute nobody into the team. These are the same players. And they just... form is so fickle this year. And I don't even know what's controlling it at the moment. Because morale is still good. Dynamics are still good. We still have the same players. They're mostly still fit. We've had one injury. I guess it was an injury to a team leader. Is that what the issue is? Ashley Chambers is the team leader and he's not out there on the pitch leading. Is it as simple as that? If it is, that seems like a bit of an overreaction to having one player not available. But... were we just massively overperforming before, punching above our weight to get up into the playoff picture to begin with? Oh, this is not fun anymore. 4-0 down. We've not even put up a fight. And I don't understand where it's gone wrong. They've now gone to a 4-4-2. We've had one shot on target while they've gone and scored 4 goals. We're the team that could have got promoted. They're the team that could have got relegated. Well, we've not got the playoffs tomorrow now, have we? I don't know. You sit there planning out these series, and I was convinced we had a fairy tale in the making here, and it was all going to be awesome. But no, the game's got other plans. The game's going to ruin me. I mean, we'll go attack him because it makes no difference, so we might as well. We're not going to score 5 goals in the last 15 minutes. And even if we did, they'd score another to make it a 5-5 draw and we still wouldn't get in the playoffs. What happened now? Offside, who cares? Right, Nicholson, corner. No, I mean, it's getting to the point. I don't want us to score any goals now. Brilliant. So that's when we start scoring them. Is there anything that can happen? It was disallowed even. I mean, that says it all. The goal was disallowed because stupid Diane decided to get on the end of a John Ashton header that was already going in. Ashton should just tear his head off for that. Now they're going to go and get their 5th. We didn't deserve for this to happen. We've had a good season that's ended with a really, really bitter taste in the mouth. And now we've lost our left back. Who cares? I don't think there's much rebuilding we need to do over the summer. I think with a couple of decent additions to the squad, we could challenge next year. That being said, a lot of it relies on being able to get Jordan Nicholson. He is out of contract with Posh this summer, so he's going somewhere. I hope he comes here. I don't know if we can afford him. And if we lose him, we're then going to need a complete tactical rethink. This might have been our opportunity to get promoted and get the money we needed to bring him in permanently. This injury to Ashley Chambers could set back our development as a club 2 or 3 seasons. And that doesn't make me very happy. 8th place. Oh, good, and that was a fan day as well. Oh, dear. Oh, dearie me. Well, that's that for the first season. I don't even want to talk to the press. I'm going to send my assistant. I just can't face him. John, go talk to the press. Let's have a quick review of the season. Why is this screen gone all messed up? What's that all about? I don't understand. What is going on? Why is the screen not working? Oh, it's all going wrong. This screen normally isn't this stupid. I don't know how it's got all messed up. Well, I'm not going to review the season then. If the screen's not going to work, there you go. We got 18 goals out of Chambers, and our best player was Jordan Nicholson. I mean, there you go. Who knew? They were remarkable outcomes. At least I identified our 2 best players before the season started. But now the real work begins, because we're going to have to rebuild this team completely to get them ready for next year. And I need to rebuild my screen because I don't know why it's not working. Well, it just says it all. The screen's not working. I mean, why is that all the way over there? I don't understand. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this, firstly, you're a monster. What was there to enjoy about this? This was horrible. But if you have enjoyed it, or okay, let's not make it about enjoyment. If you want to wish us well for next season, if you've enjoyed the first season overall, make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for us. Subscribe to the channel for brand new Football Manager 2018 content at 4 PM and 9 PM, 7 days a week. And thank you very much for watching.